Hello there, I am Tracy, and I'm going to share with you whatever that's going to come up in this video. I decided to do one unfiltered, unplanned, in my room, and just completely informal, where I take off my professional mask, my nursing mask, my therapy, I know this mask, because I want to share with you like just the authentic truth, just because there's so many people running around. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's the answer. And, you know, because you're in this helpless place, and then there's all these healthcare experts and nutritionists, they're trying their best, but it's just like this, it's a $1 billion industry, is because nobody knows how the gut really works. Nobody understands the deeper root of what autoimmune disease is, or a disorder. Nobody understands the deep, stressful, emotional nature and behavioral nature of why this illness is happening in the body. So I wish to, in this video, just blow out all the myths out there, and to, I don't know, just give you hope and direction, because I know what it's like. I've been there, and I want to show you. Yo, I've been there. I get it. Like, I want to show you. This is my hard drive, and I found, and I didn't know I even had these anymore, because my mom made me erase them because she said I looked really terrible. And so I never showed these to anybody, and I can't believe I'm doing this now, but I want to show you. So what I had was real. I hope you can see this. I had eczema and leaky gut. It was really terrible. Can you see that? Can you see like like it's so glary. It's really bad. Like it's too glary on this thing. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll include I don't even want to include a slideshow because it looks so nasty. But it's just all over my face. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Maybe you could just see if I do this. Okay, maybe you just see if I do this. Can you see, like, oh, can you see that? How my eyes are not even, they're not even. Like, that's how, like, I was swelling and itching so much, so one of my eyes, like, would be bigger than the other, and it would just be here, and I have a picture of, I don't even know why I took these pictures. There's one where I have rash all over my back. This is too glary. Maybe, okay, you know what? I think you get the point. There was definitely one where it was obvious where my one eye was bigger than the other. And then there was one here. You can't even really see because I was really good at putting makeup on, like, to cover my eczema, which I'll share with you how I did that. But anyways, oh, and also too, I was really good at cooking. So after I saw the nutritionist, I got really creative with all these gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free kind of things to eat. And it was insane because I was really controlling with my food. And so let me share with you the first thing about what I noticed. I'm getting thirsty and my water's running out. Okay, what I want to keep this, okay. What I noticed, the first observation just coming out of that whole craziness is that, people with Candida and leaky gut, we have control issues, and it's because we're afraid, and we have deeper addiction and codependency issues, and that's very stressful on the body. And so what happens is we can control anything we can, and even though it's like it's really good to eat clean and healthy, but the way that, you know, so many like nutritionists and healthcare experts, not their fault, I'm not talking about everyone, and I'm not talking about all naturopaths, but there are some shadow sides of some, you know, experts who are kind of, you know, taking advantage of this opportunity, not in a bad way. And I don't think they mean to, but they literally have this crazy scare tactic. Oh my god, this sugar is going to destroy you. And it's like, you can't eat this, and you can't eat this, and you can't eat this. So you get into this frenzy of like, oh my god, I can't eat anything. And then you go kind of crazy. And then you get really controlling. You're like, what can I eat then? And it's so stressful because can you see the restriction? Like your body just goes like this and like, ugh, I only can eat this. And then it's like, I would go to a restaurant, it's like, I can't have that salad dressing. There is a little bit of sugar in it. Or, you know, you basically just have to change your whole order because you can't eat anything. I get it. I've been there. And there was another, and the thing with food is I also noticed this behavior. I was so scared and controlling, and I'm going into a health food store, and I noticed that the other people who have like rashes on their face, they're like all afraid too. So we're like afraid. Oh my god, what do I eat? And so I saw that kind of behavior because, you know, we need to understand that chronic illness such as this, there is, I'm gonna say this, okay? Sugar doesn't help, but it's a pattern. Chronic illness is a pattern. So in my venture of, you know, going through different therapies and healing, and the one that was most profound and successful, that permanently healed me from the inside out, was the emotional healing, the deep emotional stress. And I will tell you why. It's because people with Candida overgrowth, with leaky gut syndrome, we have been very hurt early in our lives. There has been things that have been unstable in our early childhood, and that is the foundation of which we live our lives. And when that foundation is, you know, built when it's stress, what's going to happen is everything's going to be stressful, you know. And that's why there's this whole epidemic of, you know, people right now in their 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, who have addictions, who have, you know, generalized anxiety disorder, who have depression and all this stuff. It's so much bigger than just, oh, it's the sugar and the gluten and just the processed food. No, it's so much bigger than that. Because I can tell you this, I eat, and I'm not trying to rub it in anyone's faces here, but I eat everything right now. I eat sugar, gluten, and dairy. And no, I don't binge eat on it, but I eat it. And just like, you know, people in Europe who are healthy eat it. So I kind of want to take out this thing that it's so easy to blame something outside and find a problem. Your mind is going to, here's the thing about the ego, is that your mind is going to fixate and be like, oh my God, it's that. It has to be that. You know, because your mind is nasty. It's going to, especially when you have like, you know, these underlying addictions and this anxiety, your mind is going to be everywhere out there but in here. And that's kind of the way, I don't know why it's designed to do that. It's just designed to do that. And you will escape. You will just find everything else except for come back to yourself. So that's not your fault. It's a deep mind-body disconnect. It is, you know, we want to use the term, it's a psychological dissociation. So what happens is that when we've experienced these emotionally kind of traumatic, you know, situations when we're children, and it could be so simple as, you know, constantly just being yelled at or spanked because our parents are stressed out trying to, you know, make us, you know, just put food on the table and whatever else, or whatever. This old model of punishment as, you know, as a parenting style didn't work. And same thing, it's not just our parents, it is just the whole old generation of doing things. The school system did the same thing. There was just a lot of shaming, right or wrong, and punishment for the things where we misbehaved or whatever. So there's just deep shame. There is just so much stress. And what happened is that we escaped into our minds, and where we are just constantly trying to find a solution everywhere. And also too, we are, raised in this biomedical model, this Western paradigm of fixing, and like just getting rid of something and just battling through cancer and just being really in some ways against healing, because healing isn't about battling, and healing isn't about fixing. Healing isn't about anything like that. Healing, the true, and this is where my deep path took me, is that the true way to heal is what the ancient masters know. And science, neuroscience, is slowly catching up now. It's all about paying attention to ourselves. So neuroscience right now, and a lot of, and you may have heard of this, of the society is catching up with this practice called mindfulness, which is paying attention non-judgmentally to what arises. And it's establishing mind-body connection, and needs to begin there. So people with Candida overgrowth do not have a mind-body connection. That needs to be established first. And there has been a lot of psychological dissociation. And I'm not trying to make this like a labeling disorder. That's also something I want to get away from. But that's also the paradigm in which we live. So I'm going to just address that, but then get away from it, because I don't really like to use a lot of labeling to work with diagnoses, or to get into the head stuff, because if we really want to heal, you got to get into your body. That is the thing. You have to get into your body, and it is so scary to go in there. Like it was terrifying for me to go in there, and it was I didn't know what to do, so the journey was a little rough. But because I think that I have these, not just because I went to school, I got trained in all these different therapies, but I think I have this natural ability and this kind of intuition, this kind of just this insane kind of characteristic that I have, is that I will just explore the crap out of everything until something makes sense. And it's when it doesn't make sense anymore that's when I figured out that I needed to give up, and that I needed to give in, and that I needed to surrender, literally surrender. So it became a spiritual practice more than anything else, and an emotional healing journey. And even though, I say emotional healing, and maybe that sounds really easy, but for people who grew up in this survival trauma type of culture, where emotions weren't talked about or explored or processed or honored in our childhood, and so many of us, we've become extremely disconnected and dysregulated, and we're not living in our bodies at all. We're living in our heads. We are chasing and getting stressed out. So what's happening is that, okay, maybe you could see what I'm doing, is that I'm just living in my head, and my body has not experienced and processed the things that it needed to. So, we need to also understand that we digest our experiences, not just the food. And we haven't been taught how to do that. It's not that we needed to be taught how to do it, but we have been conditioned to not do what's natural, which is insane, right? So when you start, when I started going to therapy, or when anybody starts going to therapy, everyone, the therapist will tell you, and I'll tell you, that all emotions are okay. You know, one of the most profound